Yo, what's good, chat? It's Tuesday. We live early because I've been wanting to do the Hyper Tarbu fight. I literally just got home like 15 minutes ago, and I'm like, you know what? We streaming early tonight. We're not waiting to do this fight, chat. We're getting it done. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the live stream. Let's dive right in. If you guys haven't already, do me a huge favor. Do all the things, whichever platform you are on.
Manamon2 new load game.
Let's go. Let's make sure the
select in part view Golab has 2 below has 2 font.
So alright, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Arrow here. Select
Yeah,
inventory.
it's fine.
The water is so deep. No, yeah.
Let's go, chat. Here we go. Let's do it right here. Yeah.
A gigantic whale creature is waiting for you underneath the water.
Let's do it, chats. Lock in. Lock in.
Golab, Terravalo and Chimeras. Select an action for goal in a 2 to Terra Faux Death Cry Generator. Golab use Terra Magma. Special. Golab has dealt 227.
Let's get rid of the Death Cry
Generator. Select an action for Terra in a 2 up Earth. Select Faux Death Cry Generator. Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Death Cry Generator and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine.
Yeah.
Below use Earthquake.
Let's do that. Let's clean up the mess.
Terravalo has dealt 227 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Terravalo has dealt 213 damage to Faux Death Cry Generator. Terravalo has dealt 239 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Select an action for Chime in a 2 Aura. Faux Death Cry Generator. Faux Death Cry Generator has 15. Chimeras used Aura Impact.
Let's see if we can take it out.
Chimeras has dealt 132 damage to Faux Death Cry Generator. Faux Death Cry Generator has been defeated. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy.
Alright, so now
let's
clean up
Faux Hyper Turbo,
a little more of the mess.
Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Terravalo used Earthquake.
Let's clean up the mess a little bit more. So we're gonna keep the Hyperizer alive because it does damage.
Faux Magnet Machine. Terravalo has dealt 126 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Terravalo has dealt 252 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Select an action for time in a 2 Aura Mat. Select Faux Magnet Machine.
I'm gonna do the same.
Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Chimeras used Magic Wave.
Chimeras is gonna go ahead.
The attack missed. Chimeras has dealt 62 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 114
nice, it hit the spawn
damage
machine.
to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're cooked, we're cooked.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 192 damage to Terravalo.
We have 5 revives.
Turbo has dealt 192 damage to Golab. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 105 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Golab attack. Choose to Terra Missile. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine has 65. Golab used Terra Magma.
Sweet.
Special. Golab has dealt 313
I'm trying to get the spawn machine out of here.
Faux Turbo Spawn Machine has 40. Select an action for Terra in a 2 Upper Earth. Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn. Terravalo used Earthquake.
Yeah.
Terravalo has dealt 237 damage to foe magnet machine. Terravalo has dealt 129 damage to foe hyper turbo. Terravalo has dealt 230 damage to foe
cleaning,
turbo
chat.
machine. Select an action for Chimera. Foe hyper foe turbo spawn machine has 34. Choose or magic. Select foe magnet machine. Foe hyper turbo and foe turbo spawn. Chimeras used magic wave. Chimeras has dealt 132 damage to foe magnet machine. Chimeras
Don't miss the spawn, please.
To foe hyper turbo. Chimeras
Nice.
has dealt
It hit it.
111 damage to foe turbo spawn machine. Foe hyper turbo begins quickly vibrating.
You got an audio blast incoming?
Select an action for goal in attack. Choose to Terramag. Select foe turbo spawn machine. Foe turbo spawn machine has 27. Golabath used Terramagma.
This is probably gonna send out some creatures.
Special. Golabath has dealt 305
Unless we
damage
clean up
to
the
foe
mess.
turbo spawn machine.
Oh nope, it's sending out some. Alright, so we'll clean the mess up later.
Several turbo have come to help the hyper turbo. Select an
But
action for terror in a choose of earthquake. Select foe mag, foe turbo spawn machine, foe turbo hyperize, foe turbo hyperizer and foe turbo 2, foe turbo 2, foe turbo and foe turbo 3. Terravalo used earthquake.
let's just clean up the mess right here.
Terravalo has dealt 206 damage to foe turbo 2. Terravalo has dealt
Nice.
240
Cleaning
damage
up the
to
mess.
Foe turbo has been defeated. Terravalo has
Alright,
dealt
so we only have one more of those to
213
worry
damage
about.
to foe turbo 3.
We'll get it out of
Turbo
here
3
pretty
has
quick.
been defeated. Select an action for Chimera.
What?
Attack.
The new one? I haven't looked for it yet. I threw the old one away. Yes.
In a choose a magic aura impact.
Yes, I can assure you.
Foe hyper turbo.
Okay.
Foe turbo 2 and foe magnet machine. Foe magnet machine.
So let's
Foe hyper turbo and foe turbo spawn machine. Foe magnet machine and foe turbo hyperize. Foe turbo hyperizer. Foe turbo spawn machine and foe turbo 2. Foe turbo 2. Foe turbo hyperizer and foe hyper turbo. Foe turbo hyperizer. Foe hyper turbo. Foe turbo 2 and foe magnet machine. Chimera
Sure.
magic wave. Chimeras has dealt 59 damage to foe hyper turbo. Chimeras
There we
has
go.
dealt
We took care of the mess.
116 damage to foe turbo 2. Foe turbo 2 has been defeated. The attack missed. Foe hyper turbo used audio
Oh
blast.
shoot. We got audio blast incoming. Oh shoot.
Foe hyper turbo has dealt 104 damage to Terravalo. Terravalo has been defeated. Select the Manamon2 use. Arrow air. What oaks go? Arrow air.
What?
Foe hyper turbo has dealt 92 damage to Golabath. Golabath has been defeated. Select the Manamon to Arrow Balderdash. Arrow what oaks go? Fontazor.
Let's go Faunazor.
Foe hyper turbo has dealt 50 damage.
Chimeras is still in it to win it.
Select an action for Fontazor. In a choose Eric Chili win Eric Chili. Storm Rush. Select the Foe hyper turbo. Foe magnet machine. Foe hyper turbo and foe turbo spawn machine. Foe turbo spawn machine. Foe magnet machine and foe turbo hyperizer. Foe magnet machine. Foe hyper turbo and foe turbo spawn machine. Fontazor is gathering energy.
Sweet. Alright.
For Chimera.
Set him up.
Choose magic way. Foe magnet machine. Foe hyper turbo and foe turbo spawn machine. Chimeras used magic wave.
Chimeras is gonna go in.
Chimeras
Nice!
dealt
Magnet machine.
7 damage to foe magnet machine. Foe magnet machine has been defeated. Chimeras has dealt 65 damage to foe hyper turbo.
Nice!
Has dealt 183
Nice. We got rid of
damage
spawn
to
machine
foe
as
turbo
well.
Spawn machine. Foe turbo
So now
spawn
let's just
machine
pound.
has been defeated. Select an action for arrow in a choose power cert spark foe hyper turbo foe hyper arrow ear use sparking tail.
Let's pound this thing.
Arrow ear has dealt 117 damage to foe hyper turbo. Foe hyper turbo is gathering energy. Fontazor used storm rush.
Oh, that.
Fontazor has dealt 47 damage to foe hyper turbo. Fontazor has dealt 585 damage to Foe Turbo Hyperizer. Select an action for Chimeras. Attack. In attack. Choose a Aura. Magic Aura Impact. Select Foe Hyper Turbo. Chimeras used Aura Impact.
Chimeras is locked. Holy crap.
Chimeras has dealt 77 damage to Foe Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Arrow. In attack. Sparking. Select the target. Foe Hyper. Arrow Ear used Sparking Tail. The attack missed. Foe Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush.
Oh, we're so cooked. We are so cooked. Oh, yeah.
Has dealt 98 damage to Chimeras. Chimeras has been defeated. Select the Manamon2 Utergolatic Air Boulder Dash. What oaks go? Boulder Dash. Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 114 damage to Arrow Ear. Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 47 damage to Fontazor. Select an action for Boulder Dash. In attack. Choose Rev Up. Boulder Dash used Rev Up. Select an action for Fontaz. In attack. Choose Storm. Chili Dive. Select the target. Foe Hyper Turbo. Select Blink Attack. Choose a Chili Pump Drench. Pummel. Storm Rush. Water. Area Drench. Air Chili Air Pummel. Select the target. Foe Hyper Turbo. Fontazor used Pummel. 4 damage. 4 damage. 4 damage. Critical. Fontazor has dealt 5 damage to Foe Hyper Turbo.
That's really not gonna work.
Arrow in a choose Sparking. Select Foe Hyper. Arrow Ear used Sparking Tail. The attack missed. Foe Hyper Turbo is gathering.
What is his accuracy? Holy crap. Oh, there we go.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 585 damage to Foe Hyper Turbo. Boulder Dash's speed was increased by 1 stage. Select in attack. Choose Rev Up. Select the Foe Hyper Turbo.
We get a Storm Rush incoming.
Foe Turbo. Foe Hyper. Boulder Dash used Stone Spin. Boulder Dash has dealt 167 damage to Foe Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Fontazor. Attack. In attack, inventory, in items, get status, scorts, herb, to up, heal, cure, medrevive, medicine, move, use, arrow ear. Arrow Ear swallowed the medical miracle.
Nice!
Healing 114 health and curing all ailments. Select an action for air in choose spark power sparking to select the target. Foe Hyper Turbo has 86. Arrow Ear used Sparking Tail.
This boss sucks, dude.
Arrow Ear has dealt 130 damage to Foe Hyper Turbo. Foe Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush.
I'm glad I healed. I'm glad I healed.
Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 111 damage to Arrow Ear. Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 47 damage to Fontazor. Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 129 damage to Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash's speed was increased by 1 stage. Select an action for Boulder in a choose a red stone. Select the target. Foe Hyper Turbo. Boulder Dash used Stone Spin. Boulder Dash has dealt 221 damage.
I want to get his max. I want to get max speed.
Invent status. Medical select move use arrow Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash swallowed the medical miracle.
Boulder Dash.
Healing 129
so he
health
can
and
still
curing
speed
all
boosts.
ailments. Select an action for air in a choose at spark power spark select Foe Hyper Turbo. Arrow Ear used Sparking
Don't
Tail.
miss. Thank you. Thank you for not missing.
Arrow Ear has dealt 128 damage to Foe Hyper Turbo. Foe Hyper Turbo used Earthquake.
Oh shoot. Oh crap. We're done. We are so cooked. We are so cooked.
Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 110 damage.
I knew that would happen.
Arrow Ear has been defeated. Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 54 damage to Fontazor. Foe Hyper Turbo has dealt 85 damage to Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash's speed was increased by 1 stage. Select an action for Boulder Dash. At Boulder Dash's speed, 716. In a choose a red Stone Spin, Stone, Physical. If select the target, Foe Hyper Turbo. Boulder Dash used Stone Spin. Boulder Dash has dealt 254 damage to Foe Hyper Turbo. Foe Hyper Turbo countered with Holy Smoke.
Oh, are you
Boulder Dash's
kidding?
positive stat changes have been returned to normal. Select an action for Fonta in attack. Invent status. Medical miracle. 8. Revive. 5. Arrow Ear. Arrow Ear has been revived. Go. Arrow Ear.
Let's go ahead with that.
Foe Hyper Turbo used Earthquake.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? How does he have... No. And...
dealt 164 damage to Balderdash. Balderdash has been defeated. Bo Hyper Turbo has dealt 52 damage
I hate
to Bontazor.
this.
Bo Hyper Turbo has dealt 116 damage to Arrowair. Arrowair has been defeated. Select an action for Font Inventory status. Revive. Can't revive. 4. Select move you. Select air. Cancel. Air. Chimera. Terror type. Air. Balderdash. Air. Balderdash. Air. Balder. Air. Balderdash. Can't. Arrowair. Balderdash. Air. Chimera. Arrowair. Chimeras. Chimeras has been revived. Go. Chimeras. Bo Hyper Turbo use Earthquake.
Okay. Bo
Hyper Turbo
Yeah,
has dealt
I know
56 damage to
happen.
Fontazor. Fontazor has been defeated. Bo Hyper Turbo has dealt 51
We are so
damage to
cooked.
Chimeras.
Oh my god.
Select an action for Inventory. Status. Revive. Can't revive. Medical Miracle. 8. Salute you. Select Font Chimera. Air. Cancel. Air. Font Chimeras. Chimeras
so
swallowed the Medical Miracle, healing 158 health and curing all ailments. Bo Hyper Turbo is gathering
Sweet.
energy.
He's setting up for a storm rush.
Select an action
So,
for time in attack.
Let's go ahead and...
Status. Medic revive. Can't revive. Move you. Arrow air.
Let's go ahead and bring back...
Arrow air has been revived. Go. Arrow air. Bo Hyper Turbo use Storm Rush.
Not a big deal, not a big deal, not a big deal.
Hyper Turbo has dealt 102 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Chimera in attack. Inventory status. Revive. 2. Medical salute you. Fonta Chimera. Air. Arrowair. Arrowair swallowed the Medical Miracle.
Get him back in here.
93 health.
Full health.
Curing all ailments. Select an
Sweet.
action for arrow in a shoot hot lightning sparking tail. Select the Bo Hyper Turbo. Arrowair use sparking tail. Arrowair has dealt 126 damage to Bo Hyper Turbo. Bo Hyper Turbo is gathering energy.
Nice. Alright, we just storm rush incoming.
Select an action for Chimeras has 113 out of 215 health. An inventory attack. Shoot. Aura is Bo Hyper Turbo. In attack. Choose fly. Aura impact. Fly. Barrier. Fly. Air. Physical. Effect points 90. Aura impact. Magic. Physical. Effect points 90. Fly. Select Bo Hyper Turbo. Chimeras flew into the air.
We're gonna miss the storm rush altogether, chat.
Select an action for air in a shoot at sparking. Select the target. Bo Hyper Turbo. Arrowair use sparking tail. Arrowair has dealt 126 damage to Bo Hyper Turbo. Bo Hyper Turbo use Storm Rush.
We're gonna miss the storm rush altogether.
The attack missed. Bo Hyper Turbo has dealt 120 damage to Arrowair. Chimeras used Fly. Chimeras has dealt 51 damage to Bo Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Arrowair in attack. Shoot at sparking. Select Bo Hyper Turbo. Bo Hyper Turbo has 76 per Arrowair used sparking tail. Arrowair has dealt 124 damage to Bo Hyper Turbo. Bo Hyper Turbo is gathering energy.
Okay, we got another storm rush coming.
Select an action for Chimeras.
So, let's go ahead.
Has 113 out of 215 in attack. Air fly.
Go.
Aura impact fly. Select the Bo Hyper Turbo.
Miss
Chimeras
it.
flew into the air.
All together.
Select
And
an
then
action for air input status.
heal up.
Medical select use Arrowair.
We'll heal him up.
Arrowair swallowed the Medical Miracle, healing 120 health and curing
Bring
all
him back.
ailments. Bo Hyper Turbo
And then
used Storm
we'll let
Rush.
him do his thing there. Heck yeah, baby.
Bo Hyper Turbo has dealt 111 damage to Arrowair. The attack missed. Chimeras used Fly. Chimeras has dealt 53 damage to Bo Hyper Turbo. Select an action for air in a shoot at sparking tail. Select Bo Hyper Turbo. Bo Hyper Turbo has 74. Arrowair used sparking tail. Arrowair has dealt 124 damage to Bo Hyper Turbo. Bo Hyper Turbo begins quickly vibrating.
We got an audio blast coming.
Select an action for Chimeras.
Okay,
Attack,
so-
inventory, status, medical.
I'm gonna skip
select
Chimeras'
move use,
turn.
Select move use status, medical miracle. 5. Revive. Strong Herb. 2. Salute. Chimeras. Arrow it.
Skip Chimerus's turn.
Healing 70 health. Select an action for arrow input. Choose sparking power. Select foe hyper turbo. Arrow ear used sparking tail. The attack missed.
Oh.
Foe hyper turbo used audio blast.
Oh shit.
Foe hyper turbo has dealt 114 damage to arrow ear. Foe hyper turbo has dealt 48 damage to chimeras. Select an action for chimeras. Attack. Foe hyper turbo has 73 in choose air fly aura impact. Select foe hyper chimeras use aura impact.
We can get a Chimerus turn.
Chimeras has dealt 78 damage to foe hyper turbo. Select an action. Arrow ear has 32 infant status. Stronger medical arrow ear swallowed the medical miracle, healing 155 health and curing all ailments. Foe hyper turbo is gathering energy.
Alright, we got a Storm Rush incoming.
Select an action for time input. Choose aura impact. Select foe turbo input attack. Choose aura impact. Select foe hyper turbo. Chimeras flew into the air.
Set up fly, since that's the Storm
Select
Rush.
An action for arrow in attack. Choose sparking tail. Foe hyper turbo.
Then
Arrow
we'll go ahead.
Sparking tail.
Yeah, baby.
Arrow ear has dealt 126 damage to foe hyper turbo. Foe hyper turbo used Storm Rush.
Storm Rush is incoming. Chat, I want that Hyperizer to hit him. I want that Hyperizer to do damage.
The attack missed. Foe hyper turbo has dealt 120
I want that
to
Hyperizer.
Chimeras used fly
to do damage.
Chimeras has dealt 53 damage to foe hyper turbo. Select an action for air input. Choose hammer spark power. Select foe arrow ear used power surge.
Here we go. I think if you hit the Hyperizer, it does damage.
Arrow ear has dealt 56 damage to foe hyper turbo. Arrow ear has dealt 284 damage to foe turbo hyperizer. Foe hyper turbo used earthquake.
Oh man, we are so cooked. Yeah, there goes my
has dealt 114 damage to arrow ear. Arrow ear has been defeated.
Oh shoot!
Has dealt 46 damage to chimeras. Select an action for chime in attack. Choose air aura imp magic wave fly aura magic wave aura imp fly. Select foe turbo chimeras flew into the air.
Yeah, I think if you hit the Hyperizer and
foe hyper turbo used earth
enough
the attack
times. Yep, there it goes.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 284 damage to foe hyper turbo. Chimeras used fly. Chimeras has dealt 304 damage to foe turbo hyperizer. Foe hyper turbo is gathering energy. Select an action for Chimera inventory status. Medical can revive. Medical miracle. 4 revive. 2 medicine Chimeras. Chimeras swallowed the medical miracle, healing 196 health and curing all ailments. Foe hyper turbo used Storm Rush. Hyper Turbo has dealt 93 damage to Chimeras.
There goes again.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 304 damage to foe Hyper Turbo. Select an action for foe Hyper Turbo has 64. So in attack, shoot air aura in mag. Select foe Hyper Turbo and foe Chimeras used magic wave. Chimeras has dealt 60 damage to foe Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 374 damage to foe Turbo Hyperizer. Foe Hyper Turbo is gathering energy. Select an action for Chimeras. Choose an aura, magic aura and select foe Turbo Hyperizer has 83. Foe Hyper Turbo has 64. Chimeras used aura impact.
I'm gonna hit the Hyperizer because I think every time you do that, the more hits,
450 damage.
Yeah!
Turbo Hyperizer.
Oh, he's so cooked now. Haha. He's so cooked now.
Hyper Turbo has dealt 95 damage to Chimeras.
Yeah, he's so cooked. Oh, he's cooked. Oh, he's cooked.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 824 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select Faux Hyper Turbo has 56. Select in attack. Choose Aura Impact. Aura in attack. Inventory. Status. Medical Miracle. 3. Select use Chimera. Chimera swallowed the Medical Miracle, healing 188 health and curing all ailments. Faux Hyper Turbo begins quickly vibrating.
Oh, yes, it's an audio blast. It's perfect.
Choose Aura Magic. Chimeras used Magic Wave.
Let's hit the Hyperizer as well, so it can hit him.
Chimeras has dealt 86 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 390 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used Audio Blast.
Oh, you're so close.
Turbo has dealt 47 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for choose a Aura Mag or Faux Turbo Chimeras used Aura Impact.
Chimeras ain't got nothing on you.
Chimeras has dealt 408 damage to Faux
What?
Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo begins quickly vibrating.
Do I want some watermelon? Maybe later.
Backfired, dealing 798 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo.
Bet.
Select an action for Chimeras.
Chat.
Attack. Chimeras has 168. Faux Hyper Turbo has 47. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 69. In choose Aura. Select Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Chimeras used Aura Impact. Chimeras has dealt 437 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used Audio Blast.
Oh shoot.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 51 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Chimeras. Attack. Faux Hyper Turbo has 47. Select an act. Chimeras has 117 out of 215 in attack. Choose Aura Imply. Aura Mag. Aura Impact. Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras used Magic Wave.
If we hit that.
Chimeras has dealt 60 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 369 damage
Do him
to
some
Faux
damage.
Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo begins quickly.
Oh, Audio Blast, heck yeah. And he's doing, yes.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 806 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Chimeras.
He's actually so cool.
Chimeras has 1 invent status. Medical Strong Herb. 1. Select use of Chimera.
He is actually so cool.
Swallowed the Strong Herb, healing 70 health.
We're saving the medical
Faux
miracles for
Hyper
later.
Turbo used Audio Blast.
Chat, if Chimeras can...
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 145 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Chimeras. Chimeras has 42 inventory. Attack. Choose Aura Impact. Chimeras used Magic Wave.
We might lose this. Yeah, we're gonna lose this. I just sold.
Chimeras has dealt 65 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 386 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used Earthquake.
Yeah, we're GG's, chat! GG's.
Hyper Turbo has dealt 51 damage.
Let's restart.
Chimeras has
We have all evening.
Stream. Start window. Manamon2.
We have all evening, chat. Let's get to cooking.
Checking for updates.
Manamon is loading. Please wait. Load complete.
New load. The water is so deep. Would not yet. A gigantic whale creature is waiting for you underneath the water. Faux Death Cry Go Lavat, Terrugolo and Chimeras. Select an action for Go in attack to Terra Quick Terra Select Faux Death Go Lavat use Terra Magma. Special. Golavath has dealt 246 damage to Faux Death Cry Generator. Select an action for Terra in choose up Earth. Select Faux Death Cry Generator, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Death Cry Generator and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Terravalo used Earthquake.
Let's get Death Cry Generator out of here, chat.
Terravalo has dealt 248 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Terravalo has dealt 255 damage to Faux Death Cry Generator. Terravalo has dealt 282 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Select an action for Chimera. Choose Aura Max. Select Faux Death Cry Generator, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Death Cry Generator and Faux Turbo Spawn. Chimeras used Magic Wave. Chimeras has dealt 102 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Chimeras
there we go,
has
Death
dealt
Cry Generator's out of here.
120 damage to Faux Death Cry Generator. Faux Death Cry Generator has been defeated. The attack missed. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy.
We got a Storm Rush incoming, so
Select
let's...
action for Terra in attack. Shoot up Earth. Select Faux Hyper Turbo, Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer, Faux Turbo Spawn Machine and Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Terravalo used Earthquake.
Let's go ahead and... Because if we...
Terravalo has dealt 671
Oh,
damage
he's so
to Faux Turbo
cooked.
Hyperizer.
Haha.
Terravalo has dealt 267
Chat, he's
damage
so
to
cooked.
Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Terravalo has dealt 120 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Chimera. Choose or Magic or Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 92. Chimeras used Aura Impact. Chimeras has dealt 441 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush.
Okay, we got a Storm Rush incoming. Oh,
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 198 damage to Terravalo. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 198 damage to Golabath. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 105 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Golab in attack. Choose to Terra. Select Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Turbo Spawn, Faux Turbo, Golabath used Terra Magma. Special. Golabath has dealt 275 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Select an action for Terra. Choose up Earth. Select Faux Hyper Turbo, Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyper. Terravalo used Earthquake. Terravalo has dealt 276 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Critical. Terravalo has dealt 392 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Terravalo has dealt 717 damage
Can we
to
watch
Faux
it?
Turbo Hyperizer. Select
backfire
an
on him
action
now?
for Chimera. Choose Aura Impact. Aura Impact. Select Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo in attack. Choose a magic. Select Faux Magnet. Faux Hyper Turbo, Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn. Chimeras used Magic Wave.
I'm gonna leave the Hyperizer alone just for now.
The attack missed. Chimeras has dealt 62 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 107 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Hyper Turbo begins quickly vibrating.
Audio Blast incoming.
Select an action for Golab in attack. Choose to Terra. Select Faux Magnet. Faux Turbo Spawn. Golabath used Terra Magma.
One more hit on the Spawn Machine. Golabath, you can do it.
Special. Golabath has dealt 278 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine.
Uh-oh.
Several Turbo have come to help the Hyper Turbo.
Oh, here it goes.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 1,829 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo.
Good God.
For Faux Hyper Turbo has 81. Select in choose up Earthquake.
That's like 20% health.
Select Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Turbo Hyperizer, Faux Turbo Spawn Machine and Faux Turbo. Faux Terravalo used Earthquake.
Get the Hyperizer. I want it to. I'm gonna do it while I can.
678 damage to Photarbo Hyperizer. Terravolo has dealt
There goes Magnet Machine.
282 damage to Photarbo Spawn Machine.
Or no, there goes
Spawn Machine has been defeated.
Turbo
Terravolo
Spawn
has
Machine.
dealt
And then there goes one of the...
damage
Yep.
to Photarbo. Photarbo
Sweet.
has been defeated.
Alright,
Select an
we are
action
on
for time in attack.
Chimers.
Choose a Aura Magic Faux Hyper Tarbo. Photarbo 3 and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Hyper Tarbo and Photarbo Hyperizer. Faux Magnet Machine and Photarbo 2. Photarbo Hyperizer has 72. Photarbo 2. Photarbo Hyperizer and Photarbo 3. Chimeras used magic.
There we go. Clean up the mess.
Has dealt 122 damage to Photarbo 2. Chimeras has dealt 224 damage to Photarbo Hyperizer. Chimeras has dealt 116 damage to Photarbo 3. Faux Hypertarbo used Audio Blast.
And we are cooked. We are so cooked.
Faux Hypertarbo has dealt 101 damage to Terravolo. Terravolo has been defeated. Select the Manamon2 Arrow Air. What Oaks go? Arrow Air.
Bringing in electric.
Faux
And we'll bring
Hypertarbo
in...
has dealt 93 damage to Golabath. Golabath has been
Faunazor.
defeated. Fauntas what overview? Select go. Faunazor. Hypertarbo has dealt 48 damage to Chimeras. Photarbo 2 used Sound Wave. Power is 3. Photarbo 2 has dealt 13 damage to Arrow Air. Photarbo used Focus. Photarbo is focusing. Select an action for Fauntas in attack. Choose Air Chilly Wind Dive. Storm Rush Pummel. Storm Rush Pummel. Drench. Aerial Chilly Wind Air Storm Rush Dive. Storm Dive. Storm Dive. Select Faux Magnet Machine. So in attack, choose a Storm Dive, Storm Rush, select Faux Hypertarbo, Photarbo 2 and Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hypertarbo and Photarbo Hyperizer, Faux Magnet Machine and Photarbo Hyperizer and Photarbo 2. Faunazor is gathering energy. Select an action for Chimera in attack, choose a Mat, select Photarbo Hyperizer and Photarbo 2. Chimeras used Magic Wave.
Clean up the mess. Clean up the mess.
Chimeras has dealt 120 damage to Photarbo. Photarbo has been defeated. Chimeras has dealt 231 damage to Photarbo Hyperizer. Chimeras has dealt 110 damage to Photarbo 2. Photarbo 2 has been defeated. Select an action for Arrow in attack. Choose Powers Sparks of Faux Hypertarbo. Faux Magnet Photarbo Hyperizer. Photarbo Hyperizer has 67. Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Hypertarbo. Arrow Ear used Sparking Tail. Arrow Ear has dealt 119 damage to Faux Hypertarbo. Faux Hypertarbo is gathering energy.
Oh, here it goes! Whee!
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 1,133 damage.
That's
to
like a whole
20%.
20%.
Faunazor used Storm Rush.
And I got more coming at it.
Faunazor has dealt 359 damage to Photarbo Hyperizer. Faunazor has dealt 44 damage to Faux Hypertarbo.
There goes Magnet Machine.
Has dealt
Heck yeah.
240 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine has been defeated. Select an action for Chimera. Faux Hypertarbo has 69. Photarbo Hyperizer has 63. In attack, choose a Magic Wave. Select Photarbo Invent attack. Choose or Magic or select Faux Hyper. Chimeras use Aura Impact. Critical. Chimeras has dealt 122 damage to Faux Hypertarbo. Faux Hypertarbo's defense was decreased by 1 stage. Select an action for Arrow in attack. Choose Spark Hammer Power Sparking Power Surge. Sparking Power Select Faux Hyper. Arrow Ear used Power Surge. Arrow Ear has dealt 52 damage to Faux Hypertarbo. Critical. Arrow Ear has dealt 251 damage to Photarbo Hyperizer. Faux Hypertarbo used Storm Rush.
He's so cooked. Oh, he's cooked. Oh!
Has dealt 102 damage to Chimeras. Chimeras
My poor
has been
Chimeras.
defeated. Select the Manamon2 Air Bouldered. What over? Go. Balderdash.
It is time, chat. It is that time.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt
It is that
114
time.
damage to Arrowair. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 48 damage to Fontazor. Select an action for Balderdash.
So on every Faunazor turn,
Rev up, Stone Spin. Select Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 60%.
I'm gonna hit this.
Stone Spin. Balderdash has dealt 762 damage
Yes!
to Faux Turbo
Okay, that's gonna hit him.
Hyperizer. Select
Haha.
an action for Fontazor. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 51.
Okay.
Storm dives.
I'm gonna
Pummel,
get it, like,
Stormer,
down to
select
half.
Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Fontazor is gathering energy.
set him up.
Select an action for arrow in attack.
Oh,
Choose
crap.
a move.
Should-
Power, hammer, sparking
that
tail.
turn.
Select Faux Turbo Hyperize. Faux Hyper Turbo has 67. Arrowair used sparking tail.
Just like you.
Arrowair has dealt 142 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Hyper Turbo used earthquake.
Oh no. Yep.
Faux Hyper
My
Turbo
electric
has
type
dealt 330 damage to Arrowair. Arrowair has been defeated.
I hate that he
Faux
has
Hyper Turbo has dealt 112 damage
Freaking-
to Fontazor.
water.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 156 damage to Balderdash.
Ah, you're cooked.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 1,372 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Balderdash. Faux Hyper Turbo has 52. In attack. Choose a move. Rev up. Faux Hyper Turbo. Inventory. Items.
I'm gonna use
Gamma
this.
net. Deadless gamma status. Scorch. Matter. Up. Curates. Medical miracle. 10. Balderdash.
Use this opportunity to
Balderdash
heal.
swallowed the medical miracle, healing 156 health and curing all ailments. Fontazor used Storm Rush.
Oh yeah.
Fontazor
Just don't
has
take out-
dealt 47
just don't.
damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Fontazor
Nice.
has dealt 321 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy. Select an action for Balderdash. In attack, choose a red stone. Select Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 48. Faux Hyper Turbo has 52. Balderdash used Stone Spin. Balderdash has dealt 161 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for
So we have a
inventory
Storm Rush
status.
coming.
Medical Miracle Revive.
So let's
5.
go ahead and
Select move use. Arrowair. Arrowair has been
Good
revived.
luck.
Go. Arrowair.
fight for your country.
Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush.
Oh shoot. Oh shoot.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 47 damage to Fontazor. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 125 damage to Balderdash.
Haha.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 321 damage to Faux
Okay,
Hyper
so-
Turbo.
so that is how it works.
For Balderdash, attack. Choose a rest. Faux Turbo Balderdash used Stone Spin. Balderdash has dealt 755.
now he's gonna have
damage
at
to
least
Faux Turbo
700
Hyperizer.
damage
Select
to work
an
with.
action for Fonta in choose dot storm pummel storm rush water.
Let's see what his
Fontazor has 23 inventory status revive can medical miracle 9 select move use air ball air Fontazor air cancel 8 ball air chimera Fontazor. Select the action you wish to perform. You move use air font.
Let's heal him up.
Fontazor swallowed the medical
Because he
miracle,
will do
healing 207 health and curing
some
all
nice
ailments.
damage.
Select an action for Arrowair attack. Arrowair has 94 input status. Medical miracle Arrowair. Arrowair swallowed the medical miracle, healing 93 health and curing all ailments. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy.
Nice, no earthquake. We got a storm
Select an
rush
action
instead.
for Bulk in choose a Stone Spin. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 39 Boulder Dash use Stone Spin.
I'm gonna get the Hyperizer like really low.
Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Select an action for Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 31. Choose Storm Rush. Select Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Hyper Turbo has 47. Fontazor is gathering energy. Select an action for Arrow in choose Sparking. Select Faux Hyper Arrow Ear use Sparking Tail. Arrow Ear has dealt 144 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush.
Okay, we might be cooked. We might be cooked. Yeah, we're cooked.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 255 damage to Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash has been defeated. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 48 damage to Fontazor. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 110 damage to Arrow Ear.
Oh, here we go!
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 1,510 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Fontazor used Storm Rush.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad.
Fontazor has dealt 47 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Fontazor has dealt 321 damage.
Alright, it's about to do some more.
Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo has 31. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 27. Choose Sparking Tail. Select Faux Hyper Turbo. Invent status.
Actually, let's
Medical Miracle.
go with
Revive. 4. Select Moot Use. Volcan Era Fontazor Chimeras. Era Chimeras. Chimeras has been revived. Go. Chimeras. Faux Hyper Turbo used Earthquake.
Oh. Oh no! We are cooked!
Hyper Turbo has dealt 118 damage to Arrow Ear. Arrow Ear has been defeated. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 52 damage to Fontazor. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 45 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Fonta's inventory. Status, Revive, Medical Missile, Arrow, Fonta's Chimera, Chimeras. Chimeras swallowed the Medical Miracle, healing 152 health and curing all ailments. Select an action for choose Aura Impact Magic. Select Faux Turbo, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Hyper. Chimeras used Magic Wave.
Let's just add to the damage that
Chimeras has dealt 60 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 227 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy.
We got a Storm Rush incoming. There goes the Hyperizer doing some damage.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 548 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Faux Hyper Turbo has 25. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 24. Select choose Storm
They're like
Rush,
at the
Pummel,
same health level. It's funny.
Storm Rush.
Okay, so we have a Fonazor turn right now, so
Status, Medical Miracle. 6.
Let's go ahead and
use Arrow, cancel Chimeras. Chimeras has 215 out of 250. Arrow, fossil move can't use status medical revive move I use arrow can't arrow air.
Oh, wrong type.
Revived. Go. Arrow air.
I meant to do Boulder Dash so we could
Select an action for time inventory status revive. Invent attack. Choose a Magic Wave, Aura Imp. Select Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 20. Chimeras used Aura Impact.
let's hit the Hyperizer. Heck yeah.
Chimeras has dealt 422 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush.
Storm Rush. Storm Rush incoming.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 47 damage to Fontazor. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 101 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Fontazor. Attack. Inventory.
Nice.
Status. Revive. Medical Miracle. 6. Arrow Ear. Arrow Ear swallowed
So
the
it's a
Medical
Fonazor
Miracle,
turn so we can heal.
healing 93 health and curing all ailments. Select an action for time choose Aura Imp. Faux Hyper Turbo has 25%. Chimeras used Aura Impact.
Chat, if we do this tonight,
Chimeras
means
has dealt 92
y'all have
damage
locked.
to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for arrow in a two power Faux Hyper arrow ear used power surge. Arrow ear has dealt 56 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Critical. Arrow ear has dealt 251
Nice. He's about to get like
damage
700 damage done to
Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used earthquake.
Oh crap. Oh crap.
Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 118 damage.
Surprisingly,
to arrow ear.
that didn't kill him.
Turbo has dealt 46 damage to Chimeras.
But it killed Faunazor.
Hyper Turbo has dealt 104 damage
I
to
didn't heal up.
Faunazor has been defeated.
Here goes the Hyperizer doing some damage. Thank you.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 673 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for type Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 17. Faux Hyper Turbo has 18%.
18% health, chat.
Aura Magic Way Aura Impact. Select an Chimeras has 68 out of 200. Invent status Medical Miracle. Chimera. Chimeras swallowed the medical miracle.
We need to heal.
Healing 147 health and curing all ailments. Select an invent status. Medical Arrow Ear. Arrow Ear swallowed the medical miracle. Healing 118 health and curing all ailments. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy.
We got a Storm Rush incoming, so that doesn't.
Action for choose Aura Magic Wave or select Faux Chimeras
gonna hit
use
both
Magic
of them.
Wave. Chimeras has dealt 63 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 239 damage.
Bro, he's about to
Faux
be
Turbo
so cooked.
Hyperizer. Select an action for arrow in a choose Hammerhead. Power Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 14. Faux Hyper Turbo has 17. Arrow ear used power surge. Arrow Ear has dealt 54 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Arrow Ear has dealt 174 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 105 damage to Chimeras. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 117 damage to Arrow Ear. Select an action for time in attack. Choose a aura in select Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 12%. Faux Hyper Turbo has 16. Chimeras use aura impact.
I got the Hyperizer's health like really low.
Chimeras has dealt 95 damage.
Well, until the
Turbo. Select an action for arrow in choose powers sparking invent status medical
until
miracle.
the
3 salute use arrow ear
until the Hyperizer
arrow ear
heals,
swallowed the medical miracle,
or until the Hyperizer does some
117
more damage. I'm not gonna
curing
hit it.
all ailments. Faux Hyper Turbo used earthquake.
No, don't freaking dare one tap.
Hyper Turbo has dealt 46 damage to Chimeras. Faux
Oh,
Hyper
nice.
Turbo has dealt
It was
120 damage.
not
to
a
arrow
one
ear.
tap. And there goes the Hyperizer. Sweet.
The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 413 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo.
Go hook, get cooked.
Faux Hyper Turbo has 12%. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 12 in attack. Aura impact. Select Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Chimeras used aura impact.
Don't kill it, but it'll.
Chimeras
Nice.
has dealt 408 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer.
Well, we know what's in
Select
for
an
him
action
later.
Arrow in attack. Choose power sparking tail. Select the target. Inventory status. Medical miracle. 2. Strong herbs. Choose spark. Select the target. Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo. Arrow ear use sparking tail. Arrow ear has dealt 140 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy. Select an action for Chimeras. Attack. Inva attack. Choose Aura Imp. Select Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras use Aura Impact. Chimeras has dealt 95 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Arrow Ear. Attack. Arrow Ear has 60 invent status. Strong Herb. Curing medic. Arrow Ear. Arrow Ear swallowed the Strong Herb, healing 70 health. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 114 damage to Arrow Ear. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 98 damage to Chimeras. Chimeras has been defeated. The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 408 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Arrow. Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Hyper Turbo has 6%. Select an act. Invent status. Strong Medru can revive. 2. Select you. Cans go loud. Arrow. Font is Arrow Ear. Chimeras. Chimeras has been revived. Go. Chimeras. Faux Hyper Turbo used Earthquake. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 118 damage to Arrow Ear. Arrow Ear has been defeated. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 48 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Chimera. Choose Aura Magic Wave. Select Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo. Chimeras used Magic Wave. Chimeras has dealt 62 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Chimeras has dealt 230 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy. Select an action for Chimeras. In attack. Choose Aura Impact. Select Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Hyper Turbo has 5%. Chimeras use Aura Impact. Chimeras has dealt 99 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 100. Streamlabs. Start window. Manamon. Checking for updates.
Manamon is loading. Please wait. Load complete.
New. The water is so deep. Not yet. A gigantic whale creature is waiting for you underneath the water. Photar, Foco, Golavat, Terufalo and Chimeras. So in choose a mature Terra select the Fodet, Golavath use Terra Magma. Special. Golavath has dealt 264 damage to Fodet Cry Generator. Select an action for Terufalo. Attack. Choose a up Earthquake. Select Fodet Cry Generator, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Death Cry Generator and Faux Turbo Spot. Terufalo used Earthquake. Terufalo has dealt 248 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Terufalo has dealt 227 damage to Faux Death Cry Generator. Terufalo has dealt 260 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Select an action for Chimera. Inva attack. Inva attack. Choose a fly Aura Magic Fly Aura Sonic Magic Aura in Magic Wave. Select Faux Death Cry Generator, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Turbo Hyperizer, Faux Turbo Spawn Machine and Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Death Cry Generator and Faux Turbo Spawn. Faux Death Cry Generator, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Magnet Faux Hyper Turbo, Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Death Cry Generator. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Death Cry Generator and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Death Cry Generator and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Chimeras used Magic Wave. The attack missed. Chimeras has dealt 135 damage to Faux Death Cry Generator. Faux Death Cry Generator has been defeated. The attack missed. Faux Hyper Turbo begins quickly vibrating. Select an action for Terror in attack. Choose up Earth. Faux Hyper Turbo, Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Turbo Hyperizer, Faux Turbo Spawn Machine and Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Terra below used Earthquake. Critical. Terugalo has dealt 370 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Terugalo has dealt 269 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Terugalo has dealt 926 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Select an action for Chimeras. Attack. Choose a move or Magic Wave, Aura Imp. Select the target. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine has 60. Select an action. Attack. Choose a Magic Wave. Select Faux Hyper Turbo, Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Chimeras used Magic Wave. Chimeras has dealt 107 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Chimeras has dealt 110 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Chimeras has dealt 377 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo used Audio Blast. Turbo has dealt 51 damage to Chimeras. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 99 damage to Terugalo. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 96 damage to Golabat. Select an action for Golabat in attack. Choose to Terramat. Select Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine has 57. Golabat used Terra Magma. Special. Golabat has dealt 197 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Select an action for Terra in attack. Choose up Earth. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Terugalo used Earthquake. Terugalo has dealt 248 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Terugalo has dealt 266 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Terugalo has dealt 917 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Select an action for Chimera. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 75%. Select an action for Chimeras. Attack. Choose a Magic Wave, Aura Imp, Magic Wave. Select Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo, Faux Turbo Hyperizer and Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine, Faux Hyper Turbo and Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Faux Turbo Spawn Machine, Faux Magnet Machine and Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Chimeras used Magic Wave. Chimeras has dealt 101 damage to Faux Turbo Spawn Machine. Chimeras has dealt 113 damage to Faux Magnet Machine. Faux Magnet Machine has been defeated. Chimeras has dealt 390 damage to Faux Turbo Hyperizer. Faux Hyper Turbo is gathering energy. Select an action for Golabat. Attack. Choose a move tool. Terra select Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo Hyperizer has 71% health. Select an action for Golabat. Attack. Choose a move. Terra select the Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo spawn. Faux Hyper Turbo. Golabat use Terra Magma. Special. Golabat has dealt 57 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Several Turbo have come to help the Hyper Turbo. The Hyperizer has backfired, dealing 2,610 damage to Faux Hyper Turbo. Select an action for Terukalo. Attack. In attack, choose up Earthquake. Select Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Hyper Turbo has 75% health remaining. Faux Turbo spawn machine. Faux Turbo. Select an action for Terra. In attack, choose up Earth. Select Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo 3 and Faux Turbo spawn machine. Faux Turbo 2. Faux Turbo and Faux Turbo 3. Terukalo use Earthquake. Terukalo has dealt 209 damage to Faux Turbo 2. Terukalo has dealt 219 damage to Faux Turbo. Terukalo has dealt 216 damage to Faux Turbo 3. Select an action for Chime. In attack, choose a board magic. Select the Faux Hyper Turbo. Faux Turbo 3. Faux Turbo 2. Chimeras used Magic Wave. Chimeras has dealt 117 damage to Faux Turbo 2. Faux Turbo 2 has been defeated. Chimeras has dealt 108 damage to Faux Turbo. Faux Turbo has been defeated. Chimeras has dealt 102 damage to Faux Turbo 3. Faux Turbo 3 has been defeated. Faux Hyper Turbo used Storm Rush. Hyper Turbo has dealt 192 damage to Terukalo. Terukalo has been defeated. Select the Manamon to use. Arrow Air. What over select. Select the Mat Air Font Time. Font what over go. Fontazor. Faux Hyper Turbo has dealt 201 damage to Golabat. Golabat has been defeated. Golab Arrow Air. What over go. Arrow Air. Hyper Turbo has dealt 98 damage to Chimeras. Select an action for Fonta. In attack, choose Arid Chili Wind Dive, Chill Dive, Storm Pummel, Storm Dive, Storm Pummels Dive, Water, Physical. Select an action for Fontazor. Attack. In attack, choose Air Chili Dive, Storm Pummel, Dive, Pummel. Select an inventory items. Gamma status. Matter to up heal cure. Med revive. Medical. Select move. Use. Cancel. Use. Cancel. Status. Medical miracle. Select an action for Fontazor. Attack.
What's up, Yvel? Says, yo, guess who's back? It's Yvel. How's it going, man? We can't see your screen. It's complete. It's an audio game. All right, chat. So, I'm gonna go eat. All right, I'm gonna go eat. We have this boss to finish. After I finish eating. Alright, that's how it's gonna happen, alright? We're taking care of a boss after I finish eating. Alright, chat, so don't go anywhere, don't go away. I'll be back in like 10-15 minutes, alright? Alright, chat. Uh-oh, did I mute? I don't even know if I'm muted. Chat, am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Alright, let me mute.